चैप्टर 1 की आज रीडिंग ख़त्म हो जाएगी. Just like humans, animals carry out activities every day. Most of these activities are necessary to keep living things alive. We call these activities life processes. Life processes include nutrition, movement, growth, sensitivity, respiration, excretion, and reproduction. Nutrition. Living things need nutrition. Nutrition simply means eating. The food and water taken in by animals are converted into energy. Animals need energy to move and grow. These giraffes get their food from leaves of trees and water from streams or rivers. Movement. Humans and other animals can move on their own. They require energy to move. Why is movement important? This bear has just caught a fish for lunch. This crab is hiding in a hole in the sand. Movement enables animals to look for shelter. Movement enables animals to look for food. Movement enables animals to escape from danger. This mouse is running away from a cat. The cat wants to catch the mouse. Think about how you look for food, look for shelter, and escape from danger in your daily life. Can you think of any other reasons why living things move? Discuss this with your friends. This girl is reaching for a fruit from a tree. Growth. Nutrition helps living things to grow. When a living thing grows, it becomes larger in size. It also gains weight, which makes it heavier. A baby horse or a foal grows into an adult horse. The blue whale is the largest animal on earth. It can grow up to 30 meters in length. It is also one of the greediest animals. Blue whales feed on small sea creatures called krill. An adult blue whale eats about 3,600 kg of krill a day. A child grows into an adult. The appearance of a living thing may also change as it grows. Can you think of any animals like that? Sensitivity. What would you do when something scares you? Imagine that you saw a cockroach unexpectedly. Would you scream or jump? Try blowing at ants. Do you notice that they scurry away from you? Living things are sensitive to changes around them. They respond to these changes. When a living thing makes a response, there is a change in its action or behavior. Respiration. If you cover your mouth with your hands and breathe on them like Rita on the right, your hands will feel warm. Where does your body get the energy to warm your hands? Your body gets its energy by making use of oxygen from the air you breathe in and sugar from the food you eat. Water and carbon dioxide are also produced as a result. This process is known as respiration. Animals use the energy to grow, repair their bodies, and move. When you breathe in, you take in oxygen. This enables your body to convert sugar into energy. Respiration has taken place. Excretion. Living things produce waste materials in their bodies. They get rid of these waste materials by passing them out of their bodies into the environment. This process is called excretion. Carbon dioxide and water are waste materials produced in the body. Carbon dioxide and water vapor are excreted when we breathe out. Our bodies also produce other waste materials. These are usually excreted from our bodies together with water as urine and sweat. If a living thing does not excrete, it will not be able to remove waste materials from its body. This will cause it to fall sick and eventually die. How are carbon dioxide and water produced in the body? Remember what you have learned. What are the waste materials produced by the runner? How are these waste materials excreted? Amazing facts. Many people think that passing out feces Defecation is a form of excretion. However, in science, only the passing out of waste materials produced by the body is considered excretion. Feces is food that is not digested or absorbed by your body. Hence, your body does not excrete the feces. Reproduction. Amazing facts. Humans usually produce only one young or baby at a time. However, sometimes two or more babies are born at the same time. Two babies born together to the same mother are called twins. Twins can look different or identical. Reproduction is the process of producing a young from its parents. All living things will die one day. If one type of animal did not reproduce itself, soon there would be no more of its kind left. When this happens, we say that the animal has become extinct. When an animal reproduces itself, it gives birth to a young. The young will grow up to look like its parents. Some animals produce one young at a time. Some animals produce many young at a time. Some animals reproduce themselves by laying eggs. Some animals reproduce themselves by giving birth to their young alive. If you find it hard to remember the different life processes, Mrs. Nerg can help you. You see, the letters in the name Mrs. Nerg stand for the 7 different life processes. Just take the first letter of each life process you have learned and you will find her. Meet Mrs. Nerg and find out more about the 7 life processes at Internet link 1.1. Stop. What are the life processes in plants? Now you have learned about the life processes in humans and other animals. Do you think plants undergo the same life processes? Let's find out. I water my plants so that they will grow tall and strong. My mother tells me to eat my food so that I will grow bigger. Do plants need food and water to grow too? Plants form another group of living things. Unlike humans and other animals, plants cannot move from one place to another. They do not need to find food like animals do. Finding and eating food are not necessary for plants because they can make their own food. However, plants also carry out life processes just like humans and other animals. Let's take a closer look at the life processes in plants. Nutrition. Like humans and other animals, plants need food and water to survive. However, plants are different from humans and other animals. They can make their own food. Plants use sunlight to make food. They contain a green pigment called chlorophyll, which is found mostly in the leaves. Chlorophyll traps energy from sunlight. The energy is then used to combine water and carbon dioxide to form sugar. Chlorophyll also gives leaves their green color. What do you think will happen if plants do not get enough sunlight or water? Look, I can make my own food. No, you didn't make your own food. The ingredients you are using came from me. You will find more about how plants make food in Chapter 4, introducing roots, leaves, stems, and flowers. Let's find out what happens when plants do not get the water they need. Materials: 2 identical pots of green plants, measuring cup. Instructions. Step 1. Label the plants A and B. Place the pots in a sunny place. Step 2. Water plant A with 30 cm cube, 30 milliliters of water every day for a week. Do not water plant B. Step 3. Observe the plants after 1 week. Excuse me. Experiment time. What happened to the plants? Record your observations below. Plant AB. Amount of water daily, 30 centimeter cube, 0 centimeter cube. Observations. What can you conclude from this experiment? Experiment notes. In this experiment, we are testing what happens to plants when water is given or not given to them. So we vary the amount of water given to the plants. We gave plant A 30 centimeter cube of water daily, while plant B was given no water. We kept all the other variables the same for both plants. In science, a variable is something that can be changed in an experiment. For example, in this experiment where we place the plants, the size of the plants, and the amount of water given to the plants are all variables. When only one variable is changed in an experiment, we call it a fair test. The variables we change is the variable we are testing. So what variable would we change if we wanted to find out what happens if plants do not get sunlight? Now I know that plants can make their own food. So did the milk I gave my plant earlier help it to grow? Well, milk contains water and plants need water to make food. So your milk was not all wasted. When plants are able to make food, they will grow. When plants grow, they increase in size, height, and weight. Here is a picture of me when I was young. Movement and sensitivity. Do you think plants can move? Well, although plants cannot move from place to place like animals, they do move in other ways. Plants are sensitive to their surroundings. They respond to changes in their surroundings. The leaves of plants grow towards light. That is why trees grow upwards. The roots move towards water. The roots of this tree grow deep into the soil to find water in the ground. When a young plant begins to grow from a seed, we say that the seed has germinated. Some plants are sensitive to touch. The leaves of the mimosa plant curl up if you touch them. This is why the plant is also called touch me not. Leaves have closed up. The leaf of the Venus flytrap snaps shut when a fly lands on it. The fly will be slowly digested by the plant. Fly trapped in the leaf. Respiration and excretion. Like animals, plants respire to get the energy they need. During respiration, plants take in oxygen and excrete carbon dioxide through tiny openings called stomata. Stomata are found mostly on the underside of leaves. Stomata. We can see stomata on the underside of leaves using a microscope. Reproduction. Plants reproduce themselves to ensure that their kind does not become extinct. They do so in different ways. Most flowering plants that produce flowers, reproduce using seeds. Their seeds are found in the fruits they produce. Seedling. Apple seeds grow into new plants. Non-flowering plants such as ferns, mosses reproduce themselves from spores. Underside of a fern. Spore bag. Some plants reproduce themselves from other plant parts. Moss spore bags. New plants may grow from the underground stems or leaves of some plants. How can we tell living things from non-living things? Look at my robot. After I wind it up, it can walk across the floor by itself. Tom's wind-up toy seems to be able to move on its own. Is it a living thing? There are many things around us. We can classify them into two main groups: living things and non-living things. How do you think living things are different from non-living things? We know that something is a living thing when it can carry out life processes, namely nutrition, movement, growth, sensitivity, respiration, excretion, and reproduction. A non-living thing cannot carry out all of these life processes. The 7 examples that follow explain the differences between living and non-living things. All living things need food and water to stay alive, but non-living things do not. A baby needs to be fed regularly. A baby doll does not need food or water. Growth. All living things grow, but non-living things do not. A living plant will grow bigger and taller over time. A plastic plant will not change in size or height over time. Movement. All living things can move on their own, but non-living things cannot. A horse can run. A wooden rocking chair horse cannot move on its own. Sensitivity. All living things can respond to changes around them, but non-living things cannot. If only I could move. A boy can respond to a change in the weather. Here, Ari is running for shelter to protect himself from the rain. A statue does not respond to a change in the weather. It cannot protect itself from the rain. Respiration. All living things can respire, but non-living things cannot. A man can respire to produce the energy he needs to lift heavy weights. A figurine cannot respire to produce the energy to carry weights. excretion. All living things can excrete, but non-living things cannot. This boy is sweating. This garden decoration does not sweat, although it is under the hot sun. Reproduction. All living things can reproduce themselves, but non-living things cannot. A female lion can reproduce young. A toy lion cannot produce young. A candle flame can flicker. It seems to move on its own. Clouds in the sky can move and grow bigger in size. Discuss with your friends if whether a candle flame and clouds are living things. Give reasons to support your opinion. Now think about a car. Which of the life processes does a car seem to have? How can you tell whether a car is a living thing or a non-living thing? ये लफ्ज़ थोड़ा सा गलत मैं पढ़ रहा था. Respiration, मैं respiration पढ़ रहा था. Respiration. और एक और लफ्ज़ robot. Robot. ठीक है जी. Robot. Look at my robot. Robot.